The recording.
houses. So what's going to happen is it's not that parts can't be manufactured for these units, but they're going to become very, very scarce. And they already are. We saw it last summer. So what's going to happen where we used to be able to just put Freon in somebody's unit and recharge it or, replace a capacitor, a $50 part, something small. Those parts are no longer going to be available for the units. So what choice do we have but to replace the entire air conditioning unit? It is happening, folks. It is happening. It happened last summer. It's happening. So it's kind of a scary thing because retail cost on a new air conditioning unit is around $8,000. And that was last summer. So I can't even imagine what it's going to be this summer. So it's crucial that you're looking at these units. If it's an older unit, request a home warranty from a seller. Encourage your buyer to get a home warranty because we're going to cover the compatibility between the old and the new. And it's going to save your clients thousands of dollars. So where that 8,000 retail cost is, when you have a home warranty, you still pay about 2,000 out of pocket, but that's going to save you or your homeowner $6,000. Okay. So,
Wow.
it's something that you need to start talking about, something that you need to start looking at when you're looking at houses with, sellers or buyers. If they have one of those older units, a home warranty is going to be crucial, like I said. And just set those expectations up with your buyers and sellers that, hey, this is happening and you can be their hero and save them a ton of money. I have some agents doing a campaign to their past clients if they didn't have a home warranty or if they did have a home warranty and now it's expired. I have information that I can send to you if you want to do a campaign. It's a great reason you're always looking for a reason to pick up the phone and call, right?
Yes,
It's a
absolutely.
great reason to pick up the phone, touch base with your past clients. Hey, did you know about this? And I have information that you can send to them. So,
Yes. Can you share that with us? And
yeah,
I'll
I
be sure to
definitely
send it
will.
out.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
All right.
So, um, you can put one on your own home too, just so you know. Anybody
Right.
who owns a
Yeah.
home, anybody, friends, family, neighbors, anybody who owns a home, they just have to call me directly to get the real estate plan. So make sure that if you are talking about this, your clients just don't go online and go to choicehomewarranty.com because that is our consumer plan, and our consumer plan is not going to cover for this. It's only our real estate plan. All right. So
Okay.
make sure that you're giving people my direct cell phone number, and I put it in the chat. So just real quick, we have sellers coverage. So if you have those listings who may be sitting or they have, HVAC that's 25, 30 years old, sellers coverage is available. It doesn't cost anything until closing, and then it transfers to the buyer at closing. If you're working with a buyer, make sure that you're asking in the real estate contract. Home warranty, our top plan is $660. At least write 660. We also have a 2-year, a 3-year, and a 5-year warranty. And I've actually helped an agent save several deals with our 5-year warranty. HVAC was 25 years old. Buyer got nervous, was going to walk away from the deal. They asked for a seller concession or a price reduction. The seller said, no, I'm not doing that. Buyer said, I'm walking. The agent went back to the listing agent and said, hey, if you do a 5-year warranty for my buyer, it'll give my buyer peace of mind and we'll close on this property. And they did. So keep that in mind. If a seller is not offering a home warranty to your buyer can get it for themselves and make monthly payments. They do not have to pay in full at closing. So $55 a month gets them a home warranty. We also offer a rekey. So when the buyer moves in, they can rekey up to 6 locks in the home for only our low $75 service fee. Yes, our service fee is still $75. So as I said, don't order online. please give your clients my number. I'm happy to talk to them. I'm happy to set expectations with them. I'll go over coverage with them. I'd rather have them talk to somebody who knows, the ins and outs and set expectations upfront properly than not knowing what's going on. So that's it. If you guys have questions, please reach out to me and I'm happy to help. And if you have a home warranty, please send it my way. Thanks.
So one question is this home insurance? And no, this is home warranty insurance.
Right.
And the only way that the AC will get covered is if you call Lori directly and ask for the real estate plan
Correct.
to have that special insurance for the AC.
Yeah. Yeah. Think of it, homeowners insurance covers things that we don't cover and vice versa. Like they cover like if you have a flood in your house. We cover mechanicals.
Lori, good morning.
Good morning, Sam.
This is Sam. I want to thank you for selling that extra Furion or the new warranty for the last transaction I had.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, 2 months after closing, their condition went bye-bye. And the buyer called me yelling and complaining. And I told him, relax, your new Furion and air condition is covered. And although the seller wasn't very happy with me because of paying a little more for the policy, but the buyer was very happy and fixed the air condition.
Great.
It was
Awesome,
a lifesaver. I want to thank you
Thanks
for
for
that.
sharing, Sam.
That's awesome. Yeah. Anybody else have questions for Lori? Very good. Thank you so much, Lori. I appreciate you doing
All
this for
right.
us.
Thank you. Stay warm, guys.
You too. We'll see you soon in person.
Yes.
She will be in the office in person. What do I've got you scheduled for February? Let me double check. February 3rd.
Okay.
Tuesday, February 3rd.
Perfect. Come and
We'll
meet
see
me.
you then.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. And now, without further ado, we will bring on Sandra Borland, who needs to unmute herself.
Got it.
Very good.
Alrighty.
Thank you, Sandra.
All right. You're welcome. Hello, everyone. It's nice and crisp outside. I hope you're all staying warm, especially tomorrow. I wanted you to know there have been a few legislative changes in the state of Illinois that you should be aware of, especially with regard to rentals. Number one, hopefully you're all aware of the new squatter bill, which makes it much easier for your landlords to get rid of people who have either broken into their rental or through some scam, they were rented a unit without your knowledge to get rid of them. Prior to this time, it sometimes took years to get rid of these people out of a rental unit. But now, hopefully, the process will be very simple and they can be evicted immediately. Another thing you need to be aware of with regard to rentals, all rentals in the state of Illinois, this is not just Cook County, not just Chicago, must have the 4-page SAFE Act addendum as the first 4 pages of the lease. What I'm going to primarily talk about today is the fact that we are having massive amounts of compliance issues with regard to rentals in our office. We have listing issues. We have buyer tenant agent issues. And I'm going to go over some of the problems that we've encountered. One of the first things I want to point out to you is that some of you are not completing the listing agreement correctly, okay? And before I actually have filled out a listing agreement to go over it once again, but I probably talk to about 4 people per week who do not know how to fill out the listing agreement. So hopefully those people are attending today so that they can see how it's done. But I wanted also to mention to you that in doc review, and we're not being arbitrary or we're not trying to be mean, but the state of Illinois and the National Association of Realtors, after the NAR settlement in August of 2024, have set some standards that we have to meet. Number one, if you're representing a tenant, you have to have a tenant agency agreement completed prior to showing a home. On that tenant agency agreement, it must state the commission that you expect to get, whether the landlord pays it, whether the other broker pays it, or whether your tenant pays it. We cannot accept any tenant agent agreement that says 0. We cannot accept between 0 and 3% or 0 and 1 month's rent. We cannot accept whatever the landlord will pay. We cannot accept TBD. NAR has said none of those answers is acceptable. What we will accept is $100, $25. We can accept 0, but then you better not ask for any money on that lease. All too often in the office, we are seeing people asking for a half a month's rent on the lease, and then come to find out they have 0 on their tenant rep agreement. In actuality, should we receive a check for that half a month's rent?
No.
Technically, we should be sending it back to the other side, wherever it was mailed to us from. Do you all understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Another thing that is really important for you guys to understand. Let's say, for instance, you take a listing and this is a rental and the rent is $2,000 a month. Maybe you're not getting a lot of activity. And let's say that somebody finally comes after 2 weeks and says, you know what? We like this place, but my tenant is only willing to offer you $1,800. And the landlord says, that's just fine. All right. So they ask for $900 co-op. And you know what you have to do? You need a listing modification that not only changes the co-op, but also changes the rental price. Then the RSA also needs to be updated with the correct rental price. Okay, does that make sense? Does anybody not understand what I'm talking about? We need all of these numbers to align. All right. So we need the same rental price on the listing agreement. We need the correct co-op on the listing agreement. If you originally had, let's say, $1,000 on the listing agreement for the co-op broker, and you now are only going to pay them, let's say, $900, you need to change the listing agreement to accommodate that. All right.
Mhm.
Now, unlike what we do with our listings for sale, the rental listing agreement is different because we offer to pay the co-op broker. There are reasons why we made it different than our sale. In a sale, we take a listing and we feel it reduces our liability immensely not to offer co-op to a co-op broker. We would much rather see the seller understand that we think his interest or her interest are best served by the marketplace to see what the best offer for their house is, and then to judge the co-op that the agent is asking for in that context. We also know as a company that when a sale occurs, the title company distributes the money. So if in fact we only put our commission on our listing agreement, the title company will send us that check. But also the title company is going to get the commission statement from the buyer's agent, and the title company will issue a check to that buyer's agent's firm. All right. Unlike sales, rentals are a little bit more complicated because I've already encountered one company in our marketplace that says, oh, we don't pay co-op commission on rentals. you have to go get it from the landlord. Well, what if the landlord is not answering their phone? You're going to get stiffed on that commission. So we don't want to be any part of that scenario. There is no title company that distributes money on a rental. You have to chase that money down. I make 50 calls to see if I can get your commission, and nobody answers the phone. A lot of times these and the other broker says it's not our job. You're getting it directly from the landlord. So HomeSmart Connect has a listing agreement that says we will pay the tenant's broker. All right. So some of you did not understand that doesn't mean that the landlord is paying the tenant's broker directly. We are paying the tenant's broker. On behalf of the landlord, we are collecting the first month's rent. If in fact that is distributed 50-50, we will do that. If it's distributed, 80% to the listing broker and 20% to the co-op broker, that's fine with us. We'll do whatever is required. Okay, is there a way I could share I'd like to open up a file and
Yes,
share it if I could.
absolutely.
All right, let me
me
find it.
make it, yes, one participant can share at a time.
All right, let's see here. Let me pull this over. Whoopsie. All right, now I got a blank page and I don't know why. I don't have a button that says share.
Let's see, I'll try again. We can do multiple.
Yep, that's
Multiple.
the wrong file. All right, let's see if we can do this over again. Let's see here. Ah, sorry, guys. This should have been the right thing. No, that is not it.
Is there something I can pull up for you, Sandra?
Yes, would you pull up a rental listing agreement for
Yeah.
us?
Sure.
Okay,
Yep.
that'd be great. All right. Oh dear. Are you still there?
So I'm going to go to
Yeah.
homesmartconnection.com
All right.
and go to the leasing agreements.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. I put this all on my computer yesterday in anticipation, and I've got the wrong thing here. Interesting.
And it's coming up now. I've got that, infinity circle thing going.
Let me know
Yeah.
if you need any help, Sandy and Debbie.
We're pulling up the leasing agreement right now.
Okay.
Not the lease. I want the listing agreement for the lease.
Listing agreement for the lease. So you
Yes.
want okay.
Exclusive
I'm
right
almost
to
there
lease.
now.
The
Do you
exclusive.
know where to find it, Debbie?
I'm already there. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm
I'm
gonna
just
just share your screen.
So exclusive rental listing agreement with the broker
Correct.
signed.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of you apparently, because I probably get 4 or 5 listings to sign per day, and most of them are coming from the agents not in the new agent office. Are you all aware that the listing agreements our office has uploaded have my signature on them? The only time you would want to use the one that's not signed by me is when you are perhaps in Mario's office as a new agent. Okay, here it is.
So you should be able to see it now.
I do. Is there a way to make it perhaps a little bit larger? Can everybody see it okay?
Debbie, X out of the Acrobat, where it says welcome to Acrobat, so it can open up the page.
Okay, hang on. Let me, yeah, okay, I got you.
Right on the left-hand side there.
I'm glad you're technically gifted.
There we go.
Okay. At the top, let's look at this. Line 3, we want the name of the owner of the property. I was asked a question the other day by an agent, why we demand that we have a signer for an LLC. Very often with investors, as well as a lot of realtors, have LLCs, not uncommon. If the title of the property is in the name of an LLC, you would put that on line 3, but you would not have the signature page with the name of the LLC. And I'm going to tell you a little reason, one of the main reasons why we demand a signature. LLCs do not have signing ability, okay? Only signers for the LLC have signing ability. And that would be, we are working right now in a company called Home Smart Connect LLC, right? But when legal documents need to be signed, they're signed by Bill Fleming as the signer for the LLC. So at line 3, you could put Joe Smith, the owner, or it could be 123 ABC LLC. All right. Go down to line 7. We're going to put the address. Very important that you also at line 8 put the county. All right, because if it is in Cook County, we have other restrictions that apply on a rental property. All right, you must use a Cook County lease, hopefully. You must also have the Cook County RTLO incorporated as part of that lease. There are also a bunch of exhibits that should be either used or put NA on each one and have them initialed. All right. Is this property being sold furnished or unfurnished at line 8? We want to know the expected occupancy date on line 9. Parking details. Is there a garage? Are there assigned spaces? We want at line 11 the monthly rent, the move-in deposit also at line 11, and at line 12, what does your landlord expect with regard to the length of the lease? 1 year? 2 years? Are they willing to accept short term? That's what you would write in there. On line 13, what items are going to remain with the property? If it's a single family home, it's very common for a lawnmower to remain. Some owners leave a snow blower. In a condo or a townhouse, that probably won't be the case, but you will have all your appliances to list here. Go down to line 16. Are pets permitted? Yes or no? Now, here's an important caveat to inform your landlords. Pets are not the same thing as support animals, emotional support, or, any kind of animal that is needed for a person with any kind of handicap. All right. They cannot charge a pet deposit if someone has a support animal, whether it be a cat or a dog. I suppose there could be emotional support goldfish, but I don't think many landlords would object to a goldfish anyway. But keep in mind, you cannot charge a pet deposit for those. Now, some of the people who have landlords in condo buildings that do not allow pets have told me the condo association won't allow that. And I want to, and in one case, I actually went and informed the listing agent and told her, you need to go to the condo association and inform them that is a violation of the law, that they have to allow, support animals of any kind. All right. So the term of this agreement, what date is the agreement going to start? If you are filling this out today, it should start today on, what is it, the 22nd, 2026.
Yes.
Hopefully your rental won't take that long to rent. So unlike sales, sometimes we see 6 months to a year, you might have 2 to 3 months on here. All right, you're going to put a termination date. If you need to extend it, you can always do so with a listing modification form. All right. And we have those online as well, both in the RSA and in broker forms in MRED. All right. The designated agent, this is yourself. This is you, the agent. An agent called me earlier this week and told me they had a brand new LLC and they wanted to sign all their listing agreements with the name of the LLC. And I reminded that individual that the state of Illinois and the IDFPR did not give a license to the LLC. They only gave it to an individual, and that their name still needed to be on their listing agreements. Okay. Could we go to the next page, please?
Yes.
This is something I actually read to my landlords. We have a very similar section in the for sale listing agreement. And I tell them that we are there to gather and maintain relevant rental information. We coordinate property showings. We make diligent efforts to lease the property. We make efforts to advertise the property as needed and list the property on appropriate multiple listing services. We encourage other licensed agents to show the property. Now, I will tell you, I've seen a dramatic increase in people double ending their listings for rent. Okay. I will just caution you that the state of Illinois in an audit typically asks for the last X number of dual agency transactions or double-ended transactions, and they are scrutinized far more heavily than single-ended transactions. Okay. I also tell the owner what their responsibilities are. They must cooperate with us and refer all rental inquiries to them. You don't know how many times in the last couple of years I've heard that my landlord wants to cancel the listing. My seller wants to cancel their listing because they think they found their own buyer. We don't play that game. They found their own tenant. All right. They must handle all lease negotiations through our firm or our broker, one or the other. We have what is called minimum services in the state of Illinois, which means you, as the licensee representing our company, are required to present all offers to your seller, to your landlord. You must not direct the tenant to the landlord's cell phone to present their own lease. All right. We tell the landlord that we require them to place a for rent or for lease sign unless, and this is important here, it is in a subdivision that does not allow rent or lease signs. And I sold a house recently in Streamwood. The day after my sign went up, I got a call from the association. They said, "Didn't your owner tell you we don't allow signs?" I said, "No, they didn't." "Oh, well, sorry." Your landlord should allow the use of a lockbox for showings. I recommend that every single one of you protect your landlord's property by using CentriLock. All right. I know it's an initial investment
Yes.
that is large for some of you, especially at this time of year when we just got hit with the membership fees. But trust me, if your landlord gets robbed and those codes for these little lockbox with 3-digit numbers, 4-digit numbers can be passed on. Some of the agents write those codes on the listing sheet and then make a copy of the listing sheet and give it to the tenant. Please, 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 if at all possible, try and use CentriLock. It protects the property much better. Let's go to paragraph 7. All right, brokerage compensation. In our case, this is our listing agreement. At line 47, we want you to put what we are getting as the listing side on this line. So it could be 50% of the first month's rent. It could be $1,000, whichever. Use either the first line or the second line. Whichever. I think you don't have to make as many changes to your listing agreement should anything change price-wise. Let's say it doesn't rent for 2 weeks and the landlord reduces the rent. If you've got a flat amount in here, the landlord might want you to change it. So it might be safer to put 50% of the first month's rent. Okay. Down at line 52, we're going to insert how much we are paying to the co-op broker. All right. 50%, 30%, you decide with your landlord, and you need to make sure that your landlord understands that everything, all commission is negotiable. You're not telling him what he has to offer. What do you feel right in offering? Now, here's an important paragraph, additional compensation. All too often, I see blank lines on all of these. All right. And then I get a call. What do? I got the tenant myself, and I want to be paid for the work that's involved. Well, did you put anything in here under line 63 under additional compensation? This is what you want to earn if you are representing the tenant either under dual agency or no agency. And while we're talking about agency, I want everyone here to know that you do not have to be a dual agent on either a sale or a rental transaction. If you don't want to be, you could treat the tenant or the buyer with no agency. All right. In that case, you still reserve the right to advise your seller or your landlord whether this is a good deal for them or not. Under dual agency, you lose all of your ability to advise your seller. Now, if you own the property, if you have a direct relative that owns that property, if it's your husband, your wife, whatever, you are never allowed to do dual agency in the state of Illinois. All right. If you have ownership interest in the property, whether it's a rental or a sale, you must put next to the owner's name that the listing agent is related to the landlord or to the seller on the contract, on the lease. That needs to be there. Some of the leases, fortunately, now have a checkbox that whether or not you're related or you have ownership interest. All right. So additional compensation, this is what you insist you're going to get if you're doing either dual agency or no agency. Okay. So probably a half a month's rent. Any questions?
There's one in the chat. Let me check it.
All right.
It says, what does that mean? Double-ended?
Meaning that you're representing both sides and that you're being paid on both sides. We've seen a dramatic increase ever since the August 17th of 24 came around because of the fact that buyers do not have to get a signed buyer agreement. They can go directly to the listing agent and get to view that house without a buyer rep agreement, as long as you hand them no agency. I will tell you, our office, to protect ourselves, insist that we have a signed no agency agreement if you go to contract or lease. We will not accept an unsigned no agency agreement. All right. I mean, yeah.
Right. Helena is asking if I put on the listing agreement commission 1 month rent for our office only, and another agent will bring the tenant, then the other agent needs to send her commission statement to us and our office will pay her office, right? The
No.
landlord will bring commission check and I will deposit at BMO Bank. Do I need to change anything on the listing agreement?
Well, first of all, if you put on the listing agreement 1 month's rent and nothing else, that means we're not paying the co-op broker. Is that what you're asking me? Can you collect 1 month's rent for yourself?
Helena, can you unmute yourself so that
Yeah.
you can help answer Sandra's question?
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay, yes, because I put on the listing agreement, because I didn't turn on my phone. And I put 1 month rent on only to our office because I didn't know if someone else is bringing the tenant or I will bring the tenant. And the other agent came and brought like a couple who wants to rent this unit. And now how I should do that, because on the listing agreement I have 1 month rent for our office, and I want to give half of the money to the other agent.
Yeah, you need to amend your listing agreement. Your listing agreement was completed incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Okay, then I have to fill out the amendment or
That is correct.
amendment, okay.
All right. And we don't have the
Thank you.
landlord. What we do, we have the tenant deposit that first month's rent into our first month's rent portal. Once that money is deposited electronically into our first month's rent portal, we then distribute the funds once your file is approved. We'll distribute that 50% to you, and that 50% check will mail out to the other broker if that's what was on your listing agreement. But keep in mind, your file must be approved, all right?
And Sandra, where is that Home Smart portal?
It can be found, the link, I believe, is on homesmartconnection.com, but it's also in broker forms in MRED, first month's rent portal. All you have to do is copy that link and send it to the other broker on the other side so that the tenant can deposit that money directly.
Perfect.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Yes, when because these people who wants to rent this unit want to rent from February 27, and they are willing to sign the lease this Sunday and bring deposit check only. And then before 27, we're gonna meet again, and they will bring for 1 month, first month rent, check for 1 month rent. And and I was thinking that the landlord will bring the check when we meet second time,
No.
because
Well,
she's
normally
gonna
we
collect
don't.
on the earnest deposit.
Well, normally we don't do it that way. It's easier to know those funds are good, what they call merchantable, without checks being involved. It's much easier to realize those funds when they are electronically deposited.
But
If
I told them to bring a cashier's check.
okay, it has to be brought to the Arlington Heights office. All right.
Okay, not deposited at the bank.
Or you could deposit it in the BMO account, but you're going to have to call the office because they might think that's a check. Normally, that BMO account is used solely for sales, not for rentals.
Okay, okay.
So you would have to notify them and ask them if they're all right with that being deposited there.
Okay, then they can bring this Sunday deposit check, and then second time we'll meet. Then they will bring second check for first month rent, and my landlord will bring her check for our office. And then I will bring this check to our office, right? And half of the money will be sent to the other agent.
Right, as long as your
Okay.
listing agreement has been corrected by then and
I
every
will
time.
correct it, yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you. Mhm.
Very
Question.
good. Yes, Sam.
Sandra, after August 17,
Yeah,
we are not allowed to offer co-op commission for the selling a property, but it is okay to offer co-op on the rental. Am I correct or not?
yes, that is correct.
Okay. And
All
then
right.
if for the first time, I take a tenant out that wants to rent between 3,000 to 4,000. And if I'm planning to get half a month rent, I put the highest amount, I put $2,000 as my co-op commission. In case we end up renting something less, then I can go lower, but I cannot go
Absolutely.
higher.
Always
Correct?
put the highest amount that you might be asking for. Let's say you were originally looking at $2,000 and your tenant says, I don't see anything I like for $2,000. Let's push the price point up to 3,000. So now what you probably need on there is either half a month's rent or $1,500 instead of 1,000. Okay. So yes, we can always go down afterwards. But if you go to that $3,000 rental, and you are not allowed to ask for half a month's rent if you only have $1,000 on your tenant rep agreement. Okay,
Okay.
Correct. Thank you.
you're welcome. All right.
Hello.
So, yeah,
Hi there. This is Luke Lavigny. How you doing?
good. What's up?
I have a question for you. So let's say the deal, it's like a $2,000 rental, and we're gonna get a half month for 1,000.
Yeah.
So to collect the funds, we have the tenant write the check out to HomeSmart Connection.
We would prefer that they deposit it. No, there's no HomeSmart connection on any check. That is the name of our website. That is not the name of our
Or I
company.
mean HomeSmart Connect.
Yeah, but no, we prefer you to have them deposit the funds electronically
Uh-huh.
To the portal.
through the portal.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
And then that will automatically be applied. That will upload into your RSA so that you'll know that money is in place.
And
Uh-huh.
you can find that portal at homesmartconnection.com.
That is correct.
Okay, so then let's say we have to collect first month is 2,000 plus a deposit of 2,000. So
We
say
don't
that
collect a deposit ever.
okay.
All right. The deposit has to go directly to the landlord, never to us.
Okay, well that's good to clarify that. So then we collect that first month
Yep.
and then basically we'll take our portion and then you're saying disperse the rest to the landlord
We disperse the rest to the co-op broker.
or the co-op broker. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
And if there's anything left over, then we'll send the balance to the landlord. Yes.
Okay.
I have two questions
good.
about that. One, what would the security deposit goes to a separate, right? That goes to lease to listings.
No, security deposit goes directly to the landlord's mailing address. Or
Oh, okay.
Yeah. always, the security deposit has to be held by the landlord by law, not
Okay.
by us.
But the first month's rent is where we're getting our compensation from. So,
Right.
and that goes to the portal. Now, I
Yeah.
do have a question about the pet deposit issue.
Yeah.
I know that if it's a support animal, we can't ask for additional money, but they certainly can ask for a pet deposit.
Nope, not according to the law.
Oh, in general?
Always.
Okay,
If a person has a certified support animal of any kind, you are not allowed to charge a pet deposit.
no, that I know, but okay, so then with the listing itself, this is where it gets kind of complex. So for example, the condo building says no pets, but again, you have to allow, they have to be aware that pets
Yes.
emotional support or service animals have to be allowed,
Right.
right? So
Yes, I have
when
an experience right now in downtown. So, which I was doing, I called the condominiums and I explained because they are not allowed the pets in the condominium. I explained my client have a support documentation for the animals, and they say yes. In this case, we will always accept, and this
Yeah.
not any.
They have no choice. It's a
Yeah.
law.
Okay,
And,
so the unit owner themselves, it's kind of like almost like the source of income issue, where the unit owner, say the only applicant is a person that has a pet because it's emotional support, and they decline because they don't want a pet, but they don't really say that's the reason they're declining. That
well,
makes sense.
that's a good cause for a lawsuit.
Yeah, I
and
know,
if-
that's the thing.
And if I was the agent, I'd probably walk away from that situation.
Okay, so on the right, because it's going to be complicated. So
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
they're
You're-
going to be in the same situation as source of income, right? They're going
Exactly.
to have to decline somebody for a
That-
reason other than source of income.
That
So-
is considered fair housing.
Now, can we go back to the pet deposit though? On the actual listing sheet,
Yes.
say I guess it's a no pets building. So it's a no pet building.
hmm
So how do we address that on here without violating
Well, Well, then if it's a no pet building, you wouldn't put a pet deposit down.
right? But I'm saying, okay, so then we just leave that blank on the
Yes.
sheet.
Or
Okay.
NA for not applicable. If
What I'm saying, if it's a no pet building, that we are listed as no pets,
yep, that they are not considered pets. Dogs
Okay.
and cats
All
that
right,
have
that's the
certification-
definition. We're going by the definition then.
Right.
That makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
So if they allow pets, there could be a pet deposit, but that would be waived if it was emotional support. So that's where things could get tricky. So
Exactly.
say the pet deposit, say they are allowed to have pets.
Yeah,
And there is a pet deposit that the landlord,
Yeah.
okay, so we could put that in there, but make it clear to the landlord that the pet definition is not the same as emotional support definition.
Correct.
Okay, makes sense. Okay,
Correct.
thanks.
And one other thing regarding the deposit, if you could clarify for me, Sandra,
Yeah,
is that the landlord is required by law, I believe, on a security deposit, he has to keep it in an interest-bearing account.
correct.
Is that correct?
Yes, in a regular, approved by the FDIC, in a bank in Illinois. Okay? So
Right,
we want to make sure that those funds are insured by the FDIC.
right. And
Okay.
and so a lot of landlords, what I'm noticing is that they are charging move-in fees instead of security deposits.
Yeah, very often. I know.
Because they don't want to do this interest thing.
I want
think
you
the-
all to go ahead.
Isn't the interest for units of 25 or more or deposits held for 6 months and longer? More than 25 units in the building.
Yeah, but we're saying that they have to be, well,
So a 3 flat would not apply to that.
not necessarily. Every different locale could have different restrictions.
Okay.
Always go to Chicago if it's in Chicago. Go to Schaumburg. Go to Elmhurst. Go to Mount Prospect. Everybody's regulations for rental are different.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I want you to do that. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Where did we leave off? I want to caution you all about what you say to somebody that calls you about your rental. Ring, ring. You are going to get calls, and somebody is going to say to you, hello, do you accept Section 8? Well, your answer should always be, of course. Why wouldn't we? Our landlord welcomes you to apply. You do
Right.
not, just stop the conversation right there. You're not going to ask any other questions. Okay? What you do, and you're going to treat everybody that calls the same way. We'd be happy to show the unit to you. And a little bit of a red flag is when somebody says, I really don't want to see it. I just want to apply and tell me if you'll take me. We have a relationship with Listing to Leasing that does a very thorough check on people, does a credit and background check. The credit has to be approved first, and then they go ahead in Cook County and do the background check. I don't want you to get into trouble asking too many questions on the phone because it's unfortunately resulted in several lawsuits accusing us of discrimination.
And there's a tab for that also on homesmartconnection.com. Listing
Okay.
to leasing.
Yes, absolutely.
Wouldn't it be better to have it like all applicants' questions go to an email? This way you have an actual response in writing where they can't challenge what you actually said.
Well, in the case that we got sued for, the question was, what's your family's income? Because I'm trying to determine if you have enough money to pay the utilities. We lost.
Oh, yeah, you're always going to lose those. Yeah, that's the same.
Okay. Do not. Yeah, I wouldn't. You're not necessarily protected by putting a question like that in, right? Just don't say anything. Wait till the application comes in.
Right. I would say all applicants are welcome and just send them over to listings to leads or whatever.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
what's going to happen is, you asking for that. So then what could we put in what reasonably is fair to say for they know upfront whether they qualify or not? Because a landlord could have a minimum credit score and a minimum.
You are allowed to tell somebody that your landlord has established a minimum credit score that they will not consider applicants who are below it.
What about the, like twice the, 2 or 3 times the amount
I
of,
think that's a mistake. That's discrimination against people on the voucher.
okay, automatically that's considered that. Okay, that's good to
I
know.
would-
So leave that
I would
out.
say, I would not go there, really.
Okay. All
All
right,
right.
thank you.
Is this where we are, Debbie?
I'm actually, we were up ahead. I want to get you back to where we
Okay.
were. We left off with additional compensation and we didn't get quite
Yeah,
down to line 72.
If you're willing to do the work for the tenant on, without compensation, you would put a 0 here at line 63. If you want to be paid the second half of that commission, you would put 50% in here, or a dollar amount, either one. The next paragraph, additionally, if this property is leased to a tenant who is introduced or shown the property during the term of this agreement, and the lease is signed within. This is your protection period. We have this in our for sale listing agreement as well. I typically put in 60 days here. All right. In other words, the landlord is home when this property is shown to John Smith.
Right.
Our listing expires tomorrow. John Smith approaches the landlord directly the day after. The landlord still owes us a commission if you have this completed.
Right.
Okay?
Right. And does this apply to commercial as well? Commercial leases? No, right?
No.
So this is
an
strictly
entire-
residential leasing.
Strictly residential. You
Very
need to
good.
use, for any commercial sales, commercial leases, you must use commercial documents, and those can be found on your board's website. All
Okay,
right?
and we have more questions coming up as well here. So let me grab some of these questions here. Can they charge pet rent per month?
You can.
If the lease amount is $2,100 and the landlord wants additional $30 monthly for a pet, should I add this $30 to the 2,100 and put on the lease at 2,130 lease per month?
I would say so, unless everybody agrees, like you and the co-op broker agree to reduce your commission to the 2,000 flat fee. It's up to you, and it's up to what your landlord wants to do. I mean, you have to have this discussion with them. Ordinarily, you say to your landlord, if you increase the rent because of the pet, typically commission is paid on that total. All right?
Okay, Marina's asking, quick question, please here. I'm loading a listing and it was sold before processing, so I don't have the actual room dimensions. How can I go around that to input it into the MLS since room
Get out there
dimensions
with
are
the tape
required
measure.
field?
You need to have room dimensions. You can't get around it. I don't take a listing unless I have the room dimensions.
Okay,
So I have to ask the seller.
Well, either if the seller doesn't have it and there's no previous listing that you can pull it off of, you need to get out there with a tape measure.
Okay, each
All
room,
right.
right? Okay, I will do it.
All
Thank
right. All right, let's go down to the next paragraph. Should the tenant and owner agree to extend the lease beyond its original term, the owner agrees to pay the brokerage firm an additional commission of, this is entirely up to you as a listing agent, whether or not you're going to ding them for an additional fee for renewing that lease. All right. At B, if the tenant ultimately purchases the property during the term of this lease or any extension, the owner agrees to pay the brokerage firm a sales commission of, I would definitely fill in this line. Don't leave these blank. All right.
Jose is asking a question. I thought the 3 times the rent amount is okay as long as you considered the voucher as income.
Well, how do you know how much that voucher is? It might be less than that income. It might be less than that 3 times the rent. I think it's a dangerous slope. I really do. Anytime you talk income with somebody, you're running a risk that you're going to get sued.
Because of the discrimination.
Right.
Yes.
All you have to do is look at what they fill out, listing to
Exactly.
leasing. You're going to know what their income is. If they
Right.
don't have the right income, you're going to dismiss them.
Right,
right?
right,
I
absolutely.
wouldn't put that on the MLS. I really wouldn't. I think you're inviting problems.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Um,
So, I'm sorry, what paragraph are we on now, Sandy?
we're at 10, tenant
Thank you.
representation.
Okay,
The owner acknowledges that prospective tenants may choose to be represented by their own real estate agent. Absolutely. Who may not be affiliated with our company. Okay. Now we talk about who pays the marketing fees. We don't need to read every line. We are not property managers. Some of you may delve into property management, and if you do, you need to have a written contract with that landlord. And there is a sample property management contract uploaded in broker forms in MRED. One thing that our office and Bill Fleming stipulate, you may not be involved in banking on behalf of that landlord. In other words, you cannot open up an account and write checks. And that has to all go to the landlord's bank account. All right.
yep,
Okay. Any modification of this document has to be in writing. Paragraph 14 deals with fair housing. Illinois has very strict fair housing ordinances. This must be initialed. All too often, we see listing agreements come in half blank, not acceptable. Your file will never be approved unless this is initialed by your landlord. Same case with the for sale listing agreement. They have to initial. Let's go down. Read this over at your own pace. They need to understand you don't work exclusively for them. You probably have other clients. Some people think they are your only deal in town, that you are going to be there for them 24 hours a day, anytime they pick up the phone. They need to understand you have other people that you work with. Go down to paragraph 19. I think this is important to point out. Dual agency disclosure and consent. You put in your name on line 132. Even if you are not going to act as a dual agent, because go down. I actually make my clients read line 138 through 153. All right. And in my case, I never act as a dual agent. I have seen far too many people get hurt through dual agency, and I feel it's not in their best interest. So let's scroll down. I put on line 161, NA, not applicable. I will not act as a dual agent. If you need to, because this is a little bit unclear, there's no yes or no here. I wish there was a yes or no here, because I think it's better to have a yes or no. I want no in my case. It's up to you whether you do dual agency or not. All right,
yep,
let's go on. You can read this entire agreement, and we want the owner's name to be printed. And let's say it is in the name of an LLC. You can put the LLC name there, but we need a signature of an individual under it. Okay. Now, and then you put your name in here, obviously, as well. When you are getting ready to close out this deal, Moses is asking, absolutely no agency can be used instead of dual agency. Absolutely. But make sure it's signed. We will not accept it unless it is signed. All right. All right. When you're doing your commission statement, compensation statement, they call it.
you want me to pull that up?
Yes, please.
Okay,
And next month, I'm probably planning to do the lease and the tenant rep agreement, just so you all know, because it's too much for
Yeah.
one day. All right.
do you
All
see
right.
it?
Yep. All
Okay.
right. Can we fill this out as we go along?
Yes,
Let's put in anybody's name. I don't care.
we'll do yours.
Okay. Let's do 123 Main Street.
Amherst, Illinois.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, She heard.
I represent the landlord.
Okay,
Okay, all right. And this is Mr. X is the landlord. Mrs. Y is the tenant. The move-in date is 2/1/26. The monthly rent is $2,000. Let's keep the numbers real simple. Security deposit is $2,000 held by Mr. X. Now, our rent is $2,000. Let's say, for instance, that, so we're going to put Mr. X here, paid by landlord. Okay. I'm going to get $1,000 in the center column for my commission or the listing agent side. Okay, for Home Smart Connect. Let's say that Mr. X is also going to pay through us the co-op broker. All right, let's say that's $1,000 to Remax Suburban. Okay. All right. All right. That's the way we would complete our commission statement if, for instance, there was a co-op broker involved. But let's say, for instance, I'm going to give you a little more complicated one. Let's get rid of Remax Suburban. Okay. If we can.
yep,
All right. Now, what if the other agent is also a Home Smart Connect agent? They would get Home Smart Connect in here, payable too. They're going to get $1,000. Now, here's a wrinkle that you may not see very often. Let's change landlord lessor up here. I'm
landlord
sorry,
at the top.
backtracking. We're going to change it to tenant lessee. I'm going to show you a wrinkle that we may not be aware of.
Okay,
So Mr. X is still going to pay. Everything else is going to stay the same. Let's go down to, we don't know how much, let's say that we're representing the tenant, okay?
so,
Mr. X is going to pay us. We're with Home Smart Connect. We're going to get rid of that second line where he's paying another Home Smart Connect. Okay, let's get rid of all that. All right. Now, get rid of that. But let's say I represent the tenant and I have an agreement for the tenant to give me also money, which happens quite frequently. Some of our stronger agents are actually getting as much as they're getting from the landlord. So let's say $500 here from the tenant is going to pay Home Smart Connect also. Do you see that?
Mm.
Okay. The same thing can happen in a sale. All right. All right. Any other
excellent.
questions?
Hang
Oh,
on,
in
let
this
me check.
situation, I got a question. In this situation, the agent is a dual agent.
Not necessarily. No, this particular compensation statement is for an agent that is the co-op broker for another listing.
Okay, so the co-op broker is getting the 1,000 plus the 5. So he's like the tenant. Okay, got it. Tenant
He's the
agent.
tenant's agent, correct?
Okay.
And Gabby is asking if next week we can talk about lease and tenant agreement.
I am going to do that. I only get one time a month. So next month we'll deal with that. Yes.
Good.
Real
That's
quick,
what I was planning.
in this situation, if I was representing the tenant, then I would have a tenant agreement that says $1,500 on it.
You got it. Exactly correct.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
So next month will be February 19th.
Perfect. All right.
I got one more question too.
Sure.
Let's say I'm the listing for the landlord. I get a phone call someone wants to come see the property, but they're not represented. Before
Mhm.
I open the door, do they have to sign something?
I would prefer that, but at least hand it to them. And then should they say to you, I love it, I want to rent this place, then you tell them, now we have to have you sign the no agency.
But what if
Okay?
I do want to represent them and, get paid for that?
You don't have to represent them to get paid. You
Okay.
can do no agency and still get paid. That's why there is a no agency agreement that I prefer. It is put out by the Main Street Organization of Realtors, and it very clearly, it's got columns. What I can do for you as a dual agent, what I can not do for you as a dual agent. Money has nothing to do with agency. Okay? You can be paid on both sides of the transaction when you do no agency.
Would I collect it all from, like, say the landlord was offering the first month's rent? Can I do no agency, but then collect that all?
Wait, I don't quite understand what you're saying.
So say the landlord, his total is going to pay us 2,000, but 1,000 is for the listing side and 1,000 is for the co-op.
Yes.
And then the prospective tenant comes and I do a no agency. How do
Yeah.
I pick up that other $1,000?
Well, if you're the listing agent, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Then you have to put under unrepresented tenant. Don't you remember that paragraph?
Yeah.
You have to put that $1,000 in there.
Okay. I see.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify that situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that one comment. What was it about a tenant rep agreement? Did you see that, Debbie?
You mean back on the exclusive
Chat,
listing
the
agreement?
chat, the chat that we saw
Oh, sorry. The
in the chat.
chat is, let's see. If we do no agency, do we still have to fill out a tenant rep agreement?
No, but they have to sign a no agency agreement.
No, but sign no agent.
Okay.
So, and I also have somebody else who was trying to get into the call.
Oh,
Sure, this is, I got a Zoom link with Sandy email, but it does not have any time specified. Is there a time specified
oh
for the
dear.
call?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's already passed. I'll just respond that it's being recorded and she can catch it then.
I saw a note from Heidi. She's apparently on the tenant side on a lease, and it's been
Right.
over 60 days and she has not been paid. This is what we're finding when we've got brokers on the other side who do not collect co-op, that we're fighting to get that money. Some agents have been waiting for over a year. This is unreal. That's
So-
why we're not doing it to the brokers that we're working with. We are handling the money and making sure everybody gets paid.
So she's asking, should we file a complaint somehow?
Well, who are you going to file it? Apparently, the other broker did not collect the money. If it's held by the broker, if the broker is holding out on you, absolutely. And I will tell you, I went to the IAR about 4 months ago, and I said, in order to go to arbitration, it cost $350 in some boards, $500 in other boards just to apply to go for arbitration. I said, this is really unfair for people that are doing leases. That's very expensive. And they agreed with me, and they have reduced the fee to go to arbitration for rentals to $100. Really, there's not much you can do if the landlord is the one that is paying out the money, except if you want to try and take them to small claims court on your own. All right.
Very good, thank you.
I missed that last comment.
She said, I'm representing tenant before showing, do I have listing agent sign co-op form?
No, that
No.
should normally be. And one other thing I want to bring to your attention. Normally, we should have the dollar amount that you're asking for on the lease. I know Main Street has it on their lease. Carr has it on their lease. I have uploaded Main Street's lease. I've uploaded Carr's lease. If you choose to use another lease, be aware of the following problems. The state of Illinois says you must have 2 flood disclosures. Main Street is compliant. The first one as a listing agent, you do a flood disclosure when you list that property. All right? Yes or no, has it ever flooded? The second flood disclosure is affirmed inside of the lease. NASBAR and Main Street and Carr all have that second flood disclosure inside of their lease. They also have radon and lead. Okay? But only Main Street and Carr have the commission on their lease. Now that's fine. You want to use a different lease, you can do so, but be aware. Now you have to figure out how you're going to ask for your money. All right. So let's say your tenant applies for this property and they are accepted and you're going to write a lease now. How do you ensure you get paid? Well, you can try submitting a broker to broker compensation form to the other broker, but what do you do if the broker says, I don't pay co-op? That is between you and the landlord to negotiate. I advise you to use currently either the Main Street or the Carr lease, because on that lease, you can put in how much commission you want, and the landlord has to either approve your commission and say he's going to pay you or disapprove your commission. Now, getting the landlord to pay you, you might have to go and hunt him down and park in his doorstep to get him to pay you. But like somebody, I lost the name, said they've been waiting for a long time to be paid. Okay? All right. Any other questions? Nothing? We're good?
I think
been-
we're done.
You've
Yep.
been very patient. We'll see you all next month then.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sandy. We appreciate all your help.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I always feel like, whenever I attend one of these seasons, I have so many questions in my head. Yeah. It's everything is so confusing.
Debbie,
Yes, I'm
do we
here.
still have, this is Anna Morato, but I'm underbilled for some reason right now. Do we still have people on our call where we can just remind them where we can retrieve this video that's been saved? So it can be saved in the agent dashboard. There is a if you want to share that screen, Debbie, the agent dashboard, I can walk you through where it's all the videos are saved.
You're talking about homesmartconnection.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go there. So here's the
So
dashboard.
towards the bottom,
We have training videos.
mm-hmm.
And this is the
So if you
portal
have a
as well.
colleague or a coworker that didn't make it to this Zoom call, please refer them to go to and visit this this tile here under our agent dashboard in homesmartconnection.com and take a look at this. I think this was a very amazing training, and we have a lot of issues with rental. So let's we can always revisit this video in here.
Yep. People are dropping off at this point. We're down to
That's fine.
20.
Yeah.
So yeah. But that's awesome. Thanks, Anna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Okay. I'm gonna end the recording now. And we'll move on.